Cool. Well, everybody, we are here with Jake Boston or Steelbook Obsessed. Maybe I should call you from TikTok, Instagram, all over the place these days. So appreciate you coming out to the podcast, taking the time today. We're going to talk through some packaging and a little bit about your collection and your Steelbook obsession, I guess.
Yes. I think last I counted, I have over 700 Steelbooks. So yeah, I got a little bit of an obsession going on.
Unbelievable. That is like that. You have a lot of movies, period, like
Right.
I do. So I can appreciate that. But the
Absolutely.
700 Steelbooks is that's dedication in and of itself.
Right.
So,
I still remember finding my first one out in the wild at Target, which you probably can't even find Steelbooks out in the wild anymore. I don't know if you
Right.
went to Best Buy recently, but they've pulled like all of their package, like all of their home video releases are gone now. I went there a couple days ago and there's just not a movie to be seen. It's kind of sad.
yeah, I guess it's we're pretty much going to be shopping online.
That's what it looks like.
Unless you have, some local video stores. I'm lucky to have Bull Moose, who I talked to on the last episode of the podcast near me, who
Very nice.
actually has a Steelbook section when you go in there, which is cool. But yeah, there's not many places left. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like boutique hobby shops, really. I have a store in my area, JCD and Hobby, and they've got a little tiny Steelbook section that I go to every time. But yeah, it's slowly dwindling away.
Yeah, I know. And I've seen you, I've seen your videos. You've been hitting up the thrift stores and
Absolutely.
you can find some good stuff there. I swear, as people are offloading collections, it's beautiful for us who are still collecting.
I don't break the bank when it comes to collecting movies. I got to find a good deal on it. Otherwise, I don't pick it up unless I'm like really in love with the release. So
hey, that's what I tell everyone. It's a hobby first, right? Don't go into debt to build
Absolutely
a movie
not.
collection.
Yeah,
it's
build it up
a terrible
smartly.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I see all your videos and you definitely get some good deals out there. So I've been jealous of the stuff you've been finding.
I try to. Yeah, I don't know if it's a Midwest thing or not, but Goodwill's around me, everyone that I've been to sells Blu-rays for $1.99. You can't really beat that.
It's definitely a Midwest thing because, or just maybe it's a New England thing where they sell them for $4, but it's like ridiculous. You go into a Goodwill or any random thrift store around here, it is like $3.99, sometimes even on sale days, like for DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you find, $4, which just seems like absurd for thrift store pricing.
And see, Goodwill's around us, we don't have sale days. It's just here's what you have, and that's it.
Yeah, I have to wait for the half off days.
Yeah.
Then I can get them for $2. But by the time I can get there, the flippers have already been through everything and taken it all anyway. So
They go there quick.
It's unbelievable how fast some of the stuff goes. I see the people there scanning on their phones, and I'm like, damn it, I'm just a collector. I'm not trying to resell. Can I please get in here before you and just pick a few before you go crazy on the flipping?
Yeah, I go to one pretty often on my lunch break, 2 or 3 times a week, so they know when I come in that I look for movies. So they usually have a nice handful of stuff before I even get there. So that's kind of nice.
That's cool. Yeah, you've got the personal treatment. I don't go enough.
Yeah.
I don't go enough to get it. It's I walk in and nobody knows who I am, and they just they probably don't, and nobody really looks at movies, honestly.
No, not really.
They don't really.
I worked from home for 2 months, and I did not want to leave the house whenever I worked from home. I just ate lunch there, just never left. So when you're in the office, you're dying to leave for a little bit.
That's true. When I've been working from home straight through since March 2020. So like. Yeah. Since COVID, I've been home, and then I took a new job last April, and they're in Pennsylvania. So I'm at home. There's no office to go to.
Right.
And yeah, when I used to work in an office, I'd be at a Savers or a Dollar Tree or every lunch break. It was like, please just get me out of here. And now now I'm like, I'm home. I got to get up. I got to go out, and I don't get out as often, but I just still have my favorite Bull Moose right up the street. So that's the one place I hit up every month. So your Steelbook obsession, how did it start? Like, when did you start collecting, and when did you really get into the hobby?
I think it was 2010. The physical release of Django Unchained came out, and I saw, let's see here. Do I have it over here? Yes, I do. That's convenient. This little guy, I saw it popping. It just spoke to me with how simplistic the artwork is. And this is the first time I really saw a Steelbook just on the shelf. It was an extra $5. I grabbed it, fell in love with Steelbook packaging ever since then. And yeah, I've just been kind of on the lookout for them.
I think that was that a Target one?
It was, yeah, Target exclusive.
I remember trying to chase that down because I love Tarantino. And at that time, I was just starting and I was very much into Steelbooks. And I think that one and the Fury and Interstellar Target ones were the ones I chased for a long time. But I never got that Django one. That's a nice one if this is going to be, I'll say this is going to be a very visual podcast. So
yes, it is.
If you are listening, I would suggest, probably checking out the YouTube stream afterward. If you're already on YouTube, that's perfect. But we're gonna show some stuff off in here, and we'll try to describe it as best we can for audio. But definitely for me, good Jeff, visual one.
Half the reason why I collect movies is because I want to have a good visualization on a shelf as to what movies I love. And when the packaging goes above and beyond to show that love of movies off, I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And that's why I still buy Steelbooks. If I can get a Steelbook, I'll get them. I don't go out of my way to pay the crazy eBay prices for some of like the Marvel ones or Disney ones that go just nutty, $80-$90 for a movie. It's like, okay, I can live without, but eventually it all comes back to earth, and I've been able to pick up some older ones that used to be crazy expensive for a good price. And I do love a good package. That's why I'm one of the few people when they do a 4K review that actually talks about the package.
Right.
Because it's a lot of, we're going to talk about video, audio, and the quality and blah, blah, blah. But like at the end of the day, how's it look in your collection? Like, did they do a good job? Is it flimsy cardboard? Is it going to fall apart? Like, you want something that's going to last.
There's not enough time in the day to watch all of the movies that I have in my collection, but it only takes like 5-10 seconds to look at it and appreciate the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a Steelbook it's a piece of art. I mean, they usually have pretty unique artists develop the concept. I mean, it's art on a package. It's not just a poster typically.
Lionsgate is really knocking it out of the park right now with actually hiring different artists and making them come up with cool concepts that both make a cool design on the Steelbook, but also have a slipcover element to it as well to add to that artwork. It's pretty dang neat. Yeah,
I've been following your putting Patrick Bateman's face over other covers for a while. That one's been a fun series. Yeah. Yes.
I love doing this one. It's very, very simplistic, but it's effective for sure.
Yeah. So Lionsgate has been killing it, and that American Psycho one's one of my favorite, where you can kind of like pull his skin off his face almost, and then you can place it over the other artwork, and you get some pretty good results.
And over on my TikTok page, I've been putting his psychotic skin onto other different faces that I have in my collection, and that's been fun to do.
No, there's been some pretty funny ones where and some of them actually line up really nicely, like it was made for it,
right?
Which always cracks me up. But Lionsgate, they've sort of become the king of the Steelbook lately, I think. That one, Hell or High Water, I just got in, was great.
That's a beautiful one.
They're doing just the whole package with the slipcover is sort of unique. You usually don't get the slipcover with the Steelbook, so I like the. It protects the Steelbook, so like great there, but also they're incorporating artwork into it, which is really cool.
I think they're starting a trend though, because I know that Universal just came out with that Event Horizon one with all the hands on the slipcover. So I'm hoping that more studios kind of jump on board that, because not only does it give protection for the Steelbooks, but it also adds an extra art element to it, which is a nice added touch.
Yeah, no, I bet they will, because I have to imagine those Lionsgate ones are selling like crazy. For collectors, and that's sort of the market now. It's a collector's market, it's a niche market. So Lionsgate is.
Yeah, I'll show off the Lionsgate. Actually, the American Psycho one doesn't have it. I'll show off my my favorite one that's released from Lionsgate so far. It's that La La Land.
Oh yeah, that was a really good one.
This is a beautiful image right here as it is, but then you pop it up and it's just like it opens up this La La Land dreamscape scenario, and it spans to the entire Steelbook. I absolutely love it. But what
they hide that behind the slipcover too, which is cool. So when you pull the slip off, you get this like magic moment.
Yeah. But what Lionsgate's doing that no one else is doing, which I don't know if this will be a thing in the future that people are looking for. I don't know if you can see that there, but it says first pressing on the spine.
Oh, I have never noticed that.
Kind of like what records do.
Yeah.
And
or first editions of books and things like that they've become really popular.
They've had second printings that they've put second printing on there as well.
Huh.
So I think they're just trying to add fuel to the collector market by doing that, which is kind of genius because you need to. The way that physical media is going as of late, it's going to become more and more niche. So any way to kind of add fuel to that fire of collecting the first edition of anything is pretty smart.
I have like most of those Lionsgate Steelbooks, and I've never noticed that. I'm gonna have to go check and make sure I have first pressings or second pressings. Probably first. I usually get them right when they come out, but that's cool. That is unique. I haven't heard that before.
Right. I thought it was a nice touch too.
Yeah, I like the concept because it does. You think like Harry Potter first editions and things like that, which are super collectible, and any sort of popular book or. It's always been sort of like the slip, the cardboard slip has sort of been like the first pressing. And if you don't get that with a movie and you just have the case, that's like second pressing, or you've run out of the initial press run. But I've never seen that with Steelbooks. Yeah. So the first pressing stuff, super cool. I like that. I like the idea of a first edition. Definitely will have to check my collection, but did you have some more, a couple others we're going to show off here?
For Steelbooks, I mean, I don't know if, let's see here. Let's see if I can move my laptop around, but I actually have like a nice stack of things to show off. There's another stack back there. A little, I came prepared, Jeff. The Films at Home podcast is, something to be prepared for,
I'm glad someone's prepared.
Well, I kind of wanted this. I wanted this to be a visual aid a little bit, just to. I love showing off my collection to anybody that comes over, and you're coming to see mine more or less in the virtual sense. So,
show me mine. I'll show you.
Correct.
Show me yours. I'll show you mine.
Yeah. Lionsgate also comes out with like these nice little Steelbook pressings in the nice hard cover in steel, and it's got impressive artwork throughout. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is the Rambo one here. If you guys haven't seen the Rambo 4K Steelbook set, that is an unbelievable example of how to package something correctly that will last forever. It's got an outer steel box, Steelbooks on the inside, great artwork, and foam protective padding with individual inserts for each Steelbook versus like, I don't know if you have the Indiana Jones set, which I think I rated as one of my least favorite packages of last year. It's 4 Steelbooks banging up against each other in a flimsy, barely cardboard box. And it's like, those are going to get banged up. There
were too many negatives in that set for me to pick up. I didn't like the artwork on it at all. Just the white background. I thought it looked kind of ugly, if I'm being honest.
It is.
And I'm
glad
I waited.
Done the original art.
Yeah, I'm glad I waited now because they are doing the original art in separate releases.
I'm like 100% getting rid of that set and buying the original artwork, the original poster art, because that's so iconic. And I don't know what the goal was with the white and orange. It just doesn't tie to Indiana Jones whatsoever.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of it either.
Yeah, that was a good one to skip. But that Rambo set and the Hunger Games set they just did. I don't know if you have that, but that I have that really up there. Nice. Yeah, they're doing Lionsgate is killing it with their stuff lately. They're doing
a fantastic job. I don't know if it's because of COVID or whatnot, but they didn't have the tin packaging. I don't know if it just would have taken too long to get those made. It's a cardboard package, but it's really nice cardboard, and the Steelbooks don't rub together because it actually has a nice slip of cardboard in between each.
Right. It was almost like it was like that high quality, like that Arrow Video cardboard, which is nice, thick card stock. I've never had an issue with that stuff. It's not the flimsy, almost like glossy. I don't know what that stuff is they use that's so cheap. It's like a glossy cardboard. It's about as thin as a piece of paper.
Right.
I mean, it's terrible. So even when Lionsgate can't get the tin out, they still do a great job with the package.
Right. And that Hunger Games one has a cool story. All women illustrators and artists made each and every, I think they hired 10 different women to make the packaging for that. The artwork looks phenomenal. Just another cool story to go with your physical collecting.
Right. And I think that was the one, if you open those, if you put them side to side, or you can like build a map of the different districts, I think, with the backs of the covers.
Backs. Yeah.
Yeah, which was super cool too. Like there's just that interactivity with the packaging that you don't get on just, your standard Hunger Games box set or your standard Blu-ray. It's really cool what they're doing. So I give them huge props. And I know they're I know they're watching your TikToks because I've seen them comment a few times, which is also super cool that they're like paying attention to the community.
It's nice because I actually really like the work that they're putting out. So I'm glad they like what I'm putting out of their work. So
right. It's nice. They're easy to support when they're doing something good. It's always nice to actually have somebody who's trying versus I won't name any names like Disney, but some people aren't trying sometimes.
Yeah, you just like to dig them 6 feet under, don't you?
It's not so much. It's nothing with the people who work at Disney.
Right.
I know people who work at Disney. They're fine people. It's just the business model and I wouldn't like it if Lionsgate bought Paramount and Warner Brothers and said, we're going to just own all of this. I just don't like that big, we own Marvel, Star Wars, and now everything Fox ever did. Mm-hmm. That to me just is too overreaching, and you're not going to get enough creativity or different opinions in there. And I think it hurts everything. So
yeah, because I know their back catalog of Fox titles, they're just trickling out, and they could be releasing those monthly, and people would be happy.
Yep.
Some of their new release movies, like they're making a new Predator that's going straight to Hulu, and I don't know if that'll ever get a physical release.
Right, which is also what that bugs me. We've talked about this. I forget who I talked about with this on the podcast too, but like, if you're a Star Wars fan, regardless of whether you are a physical media person or not, like, I would bet you own a Blu-ray copy of Star Wars, if not, Steelbooks or special editions. The fact that you can't own The Mandalorian or
what is that
Obi-Wan or Boba Fett, or like, you can't get those. And that sucks as a Star Wars fan. You can't complete your collection.
I mean, I understand that they're trying to push Disney Plus because they're pumping billions of dollars into it. But yeah, it stinks because they could be making even more. And they're just kind of, it seems like they're forgetting about the physical movie stuff when they're the ones that kind of got me excited when I was a kid with those clamshells.
Exactly.
And the VHS tapes.
That's what I don't get, because they were the VHS and then like DVD, even they were the kings of that. Everybody had those Black Diamond Disney VHS tapes, which people think are worth like $10,000 now, and they're not. But everybody had them. I mean, everybody, whether you liked movies or not as a kid, like you had Disney VHS tapes, and now it's like you can't get some of their stuff, and that sucks. So I try not to be too tough on them, but I have some hope that stuff's coming. When they announced Heat is actually going to come to 4K.
In a Steelbook. I saw that.
Yeah, they've been sitting on that for literally years and kept putting out a date and pulling it back. So the fact that it's actually happening is good. I have heard, maybe this is podcast exclusive, but The Abyss is coming this year to 4K.
Very nice.
So that was essentially confirmed to me by someone within Disney. When I asked on the Heat release, I said, what else is coming? Because we need more catalog. The Abyss is going to come with Avatar 2. It's going to tie into that release, that time period. So they're starting. Maybe they're starting to hear something. They're at least working on a few titles. But boy, would a Mandalorian, box set or Steelbook set or anything would sell so well. I just can't imagine why they wouldn't. I mean, at least season 1 or season 2, like it's been out for a couple of years now at this point, given.
And maybe once everything's all said and done, they'll collect something into a big set. I highly doubt it, but that'd be the way that I'd want to collect that series anyway. Yeah.
Typically with like a TV show, I don't buy the individual seasons. Like I used to, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I buying Game of Thrones season 5? I know there's going to be a box set.
Correct.
There's no point. So yeah, I hold out. But I would love if they do 4 seasons of The Mandalorian, give us a set, give us, whatever, Captain America and Winter Soldier, some of the Marvel stuff. I can't imagine Marvel fans don't want to complete their collections too. So, hey, we'll see. I'm going to keep pushing them and keep poking them and see if they'll do something.
If they're having The Abyss come out, I'm hoping True Lies isn't too far behind, because a 4K of True Lies, that's my holy grail right there. I love that movie so much. And that movie didn't even come out to Blu-ray, did it?
No. Yeah, it's never had an official Blu-ray release. It's
insane.
Unbelievable, because it's basically like been forgotten by a lot of people.
Yes,
and
it's
like one of the best action movies of the 90s. Like, it's an unbelievably great movie. And it's just like disappeared. And that's the fear. If you don't put something out and you don't keep releasing it, it goes away and people forget it exists.
So. I remember it because I watched it all the time. But yeah, people that are 15, 20 years younger than me, they have no idea what that movie even is, I bet.
It's great. I hope James Cameron steps up, and his problem is he has to review everything. So
yeah.
When he's doing 12 Avatar sequels,
it's rough.
Is he looking at True Lies? I mean, it's taken him like 6 years to approve The Abyss. So,
well, I mean, if he's a perfectionist and what comes out is a great high quality copy of his movies, I'm okay with. I'm just hoping that he has developed all of the stuff he needs to for Avatar. On the back ends, just visually, I think that's what has taken the longest time with those sequels. So I'm hoping that is down pat, so he can maybe come back and review some of his older stuff and finally get that out there.
Well, he's definitely a perfectionist because
is.
Avatar took 10 years to make the first one, and now it's been 13 years to get to the second one. I mean, he's definitely a perfectionist, but getting The Abyss is a good step, and then hopefully we'll get True Lies and the original Avatar and 4K and some other stuff from his catalog. Titanic is one people always ask me about, and it's like he's going to want to perfect that too. So you got to wait and be patient for some of those guys.
Yeah. And I'm assuming if Titanic comes out on 4K, that might get split up into 2 4K discs. I know that Lawrence of Arabia that just came out, that one might need 2 discs. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on how they do it, Disney likes to compress things a little bit more than others to fit them on a disc, but I have to imagine if it's James Cameron, he's not going to want to do that. And it would probably, we're back to the days of VHS where you have to pop in two tapes because the files are just so big. I mean, Titanic is a massive file, even compressed down for 4K disc. I mean, it's got to be over 100 gigs. So it'll probably be a 2-disc set.
No, when I saw Lawrence of Arabia in 2 4K discs, I got excited because I think did that movie have an intermission to begin with?
I think so.
I thought it did. So it kind of
I didn't. Yeah, I'm not old enough to know.
Of course, yeah. But that just means they didn't compress the picture to fit it onto one disc. They actually did it service, and it's going to look its best quality that it possibly can, which is nice.
No, for sure. That's always a good. If a movie's over 3 hours long, if it's pushing 3 hours, you'd want to see 2 discs. Like the Batman barely fit on 1 disc for 4K. That one was real close to having to be 2. That's probably about the limit,
2.5 hours
quality wise. But it's also easier to do when it's shot. It's digital versus film transfers. There's more data there. So Titanic's probably a 2. I mean, even something like Avatar. I don't know how much data is behind that, but could be a monster file. It's something that'll keep happening, but it is a good thing. Like you said, it's a pain to have to get up and switch them, but I'd rather have the quality and know they did it right.
Correct. Yeah. I was in that boat too.
So outside of Steelbooks, what are some of your other favorite packages? You're I don't know are you a packaging queen? Are you a big packaging queen?
Packaging queen, huh? I'm a sucker for it, if that's what you're trying to say. Anything that's kind of out of the norm, my eyes immediately dart to, and I'm like, oh, hey, that's something unique that can make my collection pop a little bit.
Yep. Sort of, it's not a size queen; it's a packaging queen.
Exactly. Sure, I'll take it. Why not?
But I've seen your videos, and I know there's a ton of cool stuff. So
yeah, I'll show off a few of those if you're all right with it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We were just talking about Star Wars, and this is one that kind of came out to a wide release before all the Steelbooks did. But this is the complete saga, even though 7, 8, 9 aren't in here. But
the complete of the time saga.
Yes. This is when Fox was actually releasing physical releases.
Right.
Very good. But it comes with individual new artwork for each of the movies. I kind of like the bonus material because there's 3 bonus discs in here.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of different archival footage from like television appearances that they made and whatnot. And
no holiday special, though.
No holiday special, correct. But now that's on Disney Plus. If you want to watch that, you can stream it.
Is it on Disney Plus?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow.
Same with the Ewok TV show.
Really? I thought they had thrown those out. That's cool.
See, that's another. I'm not opposed to watching things in a streaming service, especially if they can archive weird, random stuff like that. That was even hard to find physically.
Oh yeah, there's never been an official. I don't think Star Wars.
I don't think so either.
Holiday special. They tried to bury that, but I'm not against streaming either because there is a ton of good stuff. I don't want to miss. But yeah, that Star Wars set. That's one I never picked up, and I always wanted to. I went for. I have old box sets. It was split between the OG trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and it was like a blue box with Darth Vader on it and a green one with Yoda. So I bought those before the complete saga, and I should have just waited. But now I need to buy the Skywalker saga or whatever the hell they're calling it now, and then there'll be. I mean, they've already said there's another trilogy coming. It's like at a certain point, there's going to be about a 30 disc box set to pick up on some format. But,
correct. The one set that every time I look at it, I cringe is I have a Harry Potter. Yeah, I used to have a Harry Potter set that had everything in it except for the last movie. It was like it had Deathly Hallows Part 1 in it, and I wanted to rewatch all of them before Part 2 came out.
Yep.
So I bought that set because I just wanted to rewatch, and it was kind of cheap. But yeah, I had to get rid of that sucker, and I got the Steelbook set for all 8 of them just because it looks so nice. That's
a beauty too. Yeah. Did they? They do this sometimes. Did they at least put a spot for Part 2 in the set? No.
Nope.
See, that's absurd because I know they've sold like. Well, they did. It was really dumb. They did like the James Bond set once, and they were like, "Well, there's a spot for Skyfall." And it's like, well, what about the next 2 that they're going to make? There's no spot for those.
Right.
I think they did it with Jurassic Park too. You could put Jurassic World in, and it's like we all know there's going to be 2 more coming. Like, yeah. Why I tend to wait, but at this point, it's kind of impossible because it's like there's more Jurassic Park movies that'll be made. There's more. At least Harry Potter universe stuff that's going to be made, but at least you can get the OG sets or trilogies within one box.
Correct. Let's
see. I love a good box set, but I mean, do you get into like digibooks and stuff?
I have a couple. I don't go super crazy for those just because it's never really been a huge. When they put booklets in these sets, I never read them. I don't know about you or not, but I flip through the pictures every now and again. But to me, I feel like I would rather have another physical goodie in there besides a book. I Digibook for Natural Born Killers. I like the packaging on this one quite a bit.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, the disc artwork I think is kind of cool. Just a yin yang here, but yeah, this one comes with the booklet in it. Again, this is all I really do is just flip through pictures and stuff, and it sits on the shelf again. So,
and if you guys don't know what the Digibook is, basically like a hardcover book that has essentially it's usually 20-30 pages, and then it's got a slot for a disc, and it looks like a small, almost like a kid's book, sort of. It's like that size and length. But you're right. I mean, Arrow Video puts all those great booklets in their special editions, and I'm like. Do I have time to read this whole essay? I'll read the notes on the restoration and I'll flip through, but like, am I going to read this whole essay right now? Probably not. I mean,
I feel bad for the guy that wrote it because I would guess less than 10% of the people who bought it actually read that stuff.
That might be high. I mean,
yes.
If I'm a huge fan, like I have a Jaws digibook, I would sit and read that, but I've got to be like, this has got to be one of my favorite movies for me to sit and read something about it and read essays. Like if it's a movie I like, but I don't love, I'm just not going to go through the booklet. And now I'm getting these German 4K releases of like Texas Chainsaw and Candyman just came in the other day, and I love their package, but the booklet's in German. And I was like, at first, well, that sucks. And then I was like, wait a second, I'm reading this just as much as I did the English version anyway. So what's it matter? It still has pretty pictures, and that's what I looked at. When I was single with no kids and I had all the time in the world, maybe I'd read that book. But yeah, now time is just dwindling, and I'd rather just watch the movie. More often than not now, I watch the movie. I maybe hit up a couple special features, and then I'm either asleep on the chair or I am I got to split the movie into 2 because there's no free time. I've been doing that too. Yeah. Once I had the kid, it was like, okay, I'm lucky enough to be able to squeeze in a movie a day. If I can watch a movie a day, that's a great week. And that does not happen. I know people have probably noticed, hey, you haven't been reviewing every single 4K disc that came out. And it's like, because I haven't watched them. I'm trying to squeeze in 2 hours where I can. And then I got to film the review and everything. It's tough. But how old were your kids? They are 6 and 4. Oh boy, that's fun. Yep, starting. Yeah, the oldest got into kindergarten, so we were doing some extra school activities, and that just makes your free time go away even faster. Oh yeah. They're getting to the age where they can actually do things, and then want to do things after school and sports and activities, and and there goes all your free time.
Yeah. Thank goodness I've inbred love of movies, especially animated movies, into them, so I can rewatch them through their eyes, that type of thing. That's been fun to do.
That's what I'm trying to do already. Even with a 9-month-old, I'm like, we were watching Moana the other day, and I was like, oh, good, he's into this.
Nice.
And he watches, like, he'll watch along if I'm watching Obi-Wan or something, or Star Wars. Like oh look, bright lights. I mean, he obviously has no clue what's happening, but we're definitely going to raise him with that love for movies, so I have an excuse to sit down and watch them. And I actually am super excited about. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, we need to watch Star Wars with him, and I want no spoilers. Like, I want him to experience this for the first time, not knowing who people are and who's related and all that fun stuff. Like, I can't wait to watch that.
I guess the question to ask you, are you going to show him 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, or are you going to go in order 1 through 9?
Wow, that's a good question. I feel like we have to watch. I feel like we have to watch 4, 5, 6 first, because if I don't, it's all spoiled. And I feel like, especially as a kid, I feel like 1, 2, and 3 make more sense once you've watched 4, 5, 6. If you don't have that context, you don't appreciate them as much.
I think so too, but that's how I originally watched them too. So I couldn't honestly tell you.
It's hard to say because most people grew up on the original.
Right.
I mean, 7, 8, 9, those will come after no matter what. Like, that's end of the line. But yeah, I'd probably go 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, and then close it out. I mean, God, by the time he's 5 or 6 and can appreciate those, we'll probably be talking 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But that's a good question. I hadn't really thought of it, but I kind of still think of Star Wars as 4, 5, 6, and everything else is sort of builds off that story. So, yeah, we definitely go in reverse order. But I just can't wait to watch, like, Jaws, and then when he gets older, when he's a teenager, and it's like you watch, like, Fight Club or, like, Seven, and for the first time with all these twists, The Usual Suspects. It's like, I need to keep him away from any movie forums or internet so he doesn't get any of those spoiled for him, so we can actually experience it for the first time.
Yeah, right now I have a Steelbook wall that has all the Pixar movies on it, so whenever they're in the mood to watch those type of movies, they just pick one up, pop it in the player, and there they go. But yeah, I'm excited for when they, hopefully, if they want to, love movies and just deep dive into whatever history of film I have on the shelf, and they can just throw it in. Because I used to go to the video store all the time, and that's where I got my love of film. So it'll be nice for them to actually, not have to go through the hassles, because there's no video stores out there. And
where do you go?
Streaming through everything, just finding a GIF, or not a GIF, a PDF file of a poster. Hopefully it catches your attention. Yeah.
Right. And then they watch Cocomelon anyway. So it's like,
oh my God, don't get me started on Cocomelon. They just got out of that phase, thank God.
Oh my God, we're just getting into it. And I swear there's some sort of, like, subliminal messaging or something behind that. I don't know what it is, but it's uncanny valley. Like, that thing is just, what a strange. Kids love it. I mean, great if it keeps them happy, but I'm also like, what weird message are they throwing into his head subliminally? Because this stuff is weird. This is surreal stuff.
Half the time, my kids want to watch YouTube videos of kids unboxing things, like an actual movie or whatnot. So
I know it's a crazy, weird shift, and I swear there's, like, people would rather now watch somebody react to a movie than to just watch the movie themselves and react to it naturally.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same. I mean, video games kind of started it, I guess. I've always thought, like, why watch somebody play games? I could just go play them myself. And, like, that's way more fun. But I don't know. There's different forms of entertainment. I mean, why do people watch my crap? I don't know, because they couldn't you just go look at the movies yourself? Sure. But I mean, people, at least a review is something. The whole reaction thing I stay kind of away from, because everyone should have their own reaction. That's your experience. I don't want you to watch me watch a movie. It feels invasive to me anyway.
Yeah, people come to you just to kind of get a review on how the visual and audio aspect of things are good, or hopefully they are good. What I'm trying to do, especially with my TikTok, I'm starting to do YouTube stuff every now and then, but I like showing off the packaging just to say, hey, if you're going to spend the money, you kind of want to see what the stuff looks like.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's been working, and I wasn't sure about TikTok at first. I was iffy. I was like, is the audience there? I don't know. Do people care? Like, obviously it's a niche thing no matter where you are and what platform, and TikTok was already sort of niche in social media at the time. Now now you can't get away from it, but it's interesting how that works, because I never thought, like, that whole concept of just like, hey, do you have this movie? Can I see it? Like, there are clearly casual collectors, hardcore collectors. There are people who just still love movies and still want that disc on their shelf. And it's great to see, because the response has been really cool, and it's primarily a younger audience, which is even cooler that you're getting, I feel like it's sort of, we're like missionaries for the physical media world. We're trying to spread the good word out there.
Gotta keep the TikTok. Faith. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting the next generation involved, but I do love what you've been doing there. It's been really cool to watch. And I mean, were you creating content prior to TikTok, or did you just kind of jump into that?
I had a YouTube page with a bunch of friends. Like, we made a podcast, which went 75 episodes, and we'd create videos for that. That was like in 2017, 2018. That stopped around 2019, just because one of the people that we were doing the group with moved, and then it just kind of splintered off from there. And I like being creative with stuff, so I randomly made a TikTok account. I think January 2021 is when I did it, and I just randomly did things with my family, and I'm like, okay, maybe we'll try this movie thing, see how that works.
Yeah.
And I started showing off collections, like, here are all my Spider-Man Steelbooks and X-Men Steelbooks, that type of thing. And people liked it, and I like showing that stuff off, and it's just been kind of growing faster than I would have ever expected ever since.
Yeah, the growth is the craziest thing for me, and it's also so random too, which is like, can be annoying, but also can be kind of fun, because all of a sudden you have a video that does, like, I did one the other day that I thought was like sort of a throwaway, just fun one. It was like, it's at 600,000 views now. And I was like, oh, okay. And then you try to do the same concept, and it's like, it doesn't work. So I don't know. I never know why one goes off or one doesn't, but
I haven't found a rhyme or reason to the algorithm either.
No, it's like, just keep posting. That's what I tell people. I mean, you just have to keep throwing out your shot to hit the algorithm right. And every now and then it does.
I do 3 posts a day. Just, that seems to be the magic number for me. And probably 1 out of 20 goes over 10,000 views, and we'll go like way over that.
Yeah. And no, and that's where the majority of like followers come from too, is like those posts. And then, but I mean, it's a good thing. It's nice that you can, because I feel like you can't do that on Instagram. It's next to impossible. Even though I have a decent Instagram following, it has not grown in probably 3 years.
Yeah, mine's been very stagnant. It's
super stagnant.
Yeah.
And YouTube grows, and it's been growing fast, but nowhere near as fast as TikTok. And
but man, you're close to 100,000 now, right?
I'm close.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. That was always the goal when I started. And well, I don't even know if that was the goal when I started. When I started, I was like, let's get to 1,000 and see if I can run some ads and make $50 a month off videos, just having fun. And then eventually, it kind of became it's a side job for me. It's not full time, but my full-time job is also marketing. So I've learned a lot. I kind of got a marketing job because I had written for websites and done reviews and built a website that did well, because I don't have a degree or anything. And I went to an interview and was like, hey, look, I did this. And they were like, oh, come do that for us.
Right.
And that started a career. So I still enjoy doing it. But yeah, now the goal was like, I want that 100,000 subscriber, plaque to just
get
say
that silver play button. Yes, sir.
We did it. I don't ever expect to get to 1 million. I don't think that's realistic for the niche we're in, unless I expand my content a little bit, which I'm playing with.
Right.
But yeah, just, it feels like validation for me, but it also feels like validation for the community, because I don't know of any other channels that are physical media focused that have hit that mark yet.
Correct.
There are movie review channels that, talk physical from time to time, but there's nobody who's hit that kind of magic number of like, okay, this is real. This is a real community on YouTube. So I want to be the first. Some other people might beat me to it. We're about what are we at now? We're about like 8,500 away as of today. So maybe by the end of the year, that was my goal. If I can do it in the next 6 months and the end of 2022, get there. So
I think it's totally doable.
I hope so. Everyone out there is listening. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Right.
You got to just click a button. Just do it for me. It means a lot. And then you'll see all my stuff and you won't miss it. So
he makes great content. What are you waiting for?
See, there it is. Jake Boston testimonial. Steelbook Obsessed says I make great content. If that's not enough, I don't know what it's going to take for people.
Right. If you want to see my rehashed TikToks, go follow me on YouTube because that's what I post right now.
Is that?
I'm at like 1,000 followers just doing that.
Yeah. Honestly, it works. I've seen other people do that too. So you're just doing like YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. I just posted my first long form for this one yesterday about Jurassic Park stuff. So hopefully I can add more long form videos. Maybe twice a month is what I'll shoot for. It takes a lot longer to edit that stuff than it does a TikTok video.
It does. I do love the simplicity of TikTok, and that's why I tell people if you're following on YouTube, definitely go check out TikTok because it is different content that I post there. It's more informal. It's a little more casual. It's a little more fun because it's off the cuff. I mean, it's just me on my phone. The YouTube stuff takes a while. I mean, I don't do anything fancy because I just don't have the time to be like editing in special effects and explosions and different musical sections I just have to sort of be like the talk to the camera type person. That's just for time reasons, but I've had some fun with like the home video history stuff.
Those have been good.
They take a while to make and they're actually super hard to research because every time I post one, somebody in the comments knows of a release that just like didn't exist on the internet that I couldn't find out about, which is amazing because there isn't much information out there. Yeah,
some people in the comments really are people that are watching your video. They are looking for every mistake that you make and are just ready to attack.
That's YouTube. But I do appreciate the people who are like, hey, did you know in 1997 there was a special edition VHS released with this artwork? And it's like, no, because you may be one of like 1,000 people who actually own that. But that's super cool. Like I'm glad we brought that out.
Yeah.
Wish I had known going into the video, but yeah, those have been fun, but it takes a long time. I can imagine even just doing 3 TikToks a day.
Right.
It's like just taking the time to sit and do that. I don't do it every day. I've said to myself, I should do the same thing. Let's do 3 or 4 a day. And it's like, I go 2 days and I don't post anything. And then I get back with 3 and then I do 1. It's a commitment. So
I usually have I put both kids to bed and I usually spend a couple hours making about 8 or 10 of them just so I have like a nice week worth of content for people. And that's how I go about it.
It's tough with the family. And I mean, this is not your full-time job either, right? So
no, I work in a grocery store business. I help buy like different meats and cheeses for a chain. So
meat and cheese guy.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's not a bad gig, but yeah, that's what helped me with TikTok and grow to as big as I have been, just networking. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And it's not anything you really think about until you do it for your job. And then you're like, hey, what if I do this for my hobby as well?
Right.
And it just kind of worked out. I'm able to get movies to review and show off and spread the word. And it's been kind of a nice added perk.
No, I would highly recommend it to anybody out there. If you haven't started playing with TikTok, I know this is kind of cliche and you could say this about any platform, but on TikTok, I feel like it's true that like literally one video in, whether it's you go viral because you're doing something funny or you have a specific niche thing that, you're a fan of that goes, one video can change.
It's crazy.
Like change your life. I mean, you could get, people are getting jobs because of TikToks they post. You're getting opportunities. You're getting, giveaways and swag, and companies want to work with you. I mean, it's one video is all it takes. You could be a guy who likes to collect, I don't even know, used hermit crab shells. And it's like somebody out there is like, that's awesome. And I want to support you. And some oceanic research company will be like, hey, come do a TikTok for us. And we'll pay. Like,
I know
it could be anything.
One of my videos has 2.3 million views on it, and I know that has gained me at least close to 10,000 followers just from that one video. So you never know it's going to catch fire. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I highly recommend it. It's not a joke. It's not for kids dancing around anymore. Honestly, after you use it for if you use it for a couple of hours, the app figures out that you don't care about the teenage stuff and that you have a specific interest, and you pretty much get served that content. It does a really good job at that. So,
yep. I had a creative itch listening. I had a creative itch that needed to be scratched, and it just it's really nice to just throw that short form content out there.
Absolutely. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, I mean, what are I got a few minutes left here. You want to show off some
rapid fire? Yes.
Let's rapid fire some more packaging for some people. Let's talk some cool releases.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the big heavy hitters. This Creep Show Scream Factory. I know that they had the Halloween 1 through 5 have this hardcover set as well. Those. But this comes with the Blu-ray, which has different artwork on it as well. Scream Factory, Arrow Video, they're masters at having the reversible artwork. So it makes you want to collect the slipcover for it, just so you can show off two different things. Right. It also comes with a book,
which you've read, I'm sure.
Cover to cover. Yep. Let's see here. I'll do a couple criterions here. I love this Princess Bride release because it looks like a book. Like the cover art on it is a hardcover book. It's fantastic. So if you're ever going to read a book, this is the one that you should do because it kind of feels like an actual book. That's cool. It comes with like part of the script in here too.
Nice. So it's sort of that digibook packaging, but it's a little more premium, being Criterion. I love the artwork on that one too. It's like this purple,
elegant,
gold,
like
very royal.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Another Criterion that I have, a newer release, is this Uncut Gems one.
That's a beauty.
Very nice and shiny. And then
it's got like a holographic slipcover.
Yes, holographic hue. Nice little Furby. Yeah, right there. Very good.
Looks like a Pokemon card.
A little bit, yeah. But I also like when they do throw books in here. It actually has something to do with the movie. Like here is his jewelry little pamphlet.
Yeah.
It's just, Again, I'm not going to read your book more often than not. So if it looks like a movie prop, I am more likely to actually appreciate it.
Yeah, that was like his jewelry store's like catalog they included in there, right? So nice little touch. They did a good job with that one.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do a few more. This is coming out in June. I guess in a couple of months from our video.
You already got yours.
This is a UK import from last year.
Oh, okay. All right.
But this release is phenomenal if you like the movie at all. It's got a nice hardcover. An Arrow Video, to me, makes the best hardcover packaging. That just that's
I don't know wherever they're sourcing their cardboard from is where everyone should be getting it from. It's high quality stuff.
Yeah,
but this is I don't know if their trees are romance.
Yes, I don't know if their trees are different over in the UK or not.
They have different trees for sure.
It's got to be. But just the shine to that is fantastic. Arrow Video is very good at throwing different extras in here too. It comes with a sticker, comes with a whole bunch of still cards from the movie, comes with a nice poster, a reversible artwork poster too.
I was going to ask, most of them come with posters. That one has one.
Right.
Nice.
And then it comes with a book that I'm not even going to show you. Okay. I know that you are a big fan of imprint. You're the one that actually made me figure out what imprint films was and how much of a gem it is.
It's amazing.
Have you looked at this Wicker Man set yet?
I have that one. It's unbelievable.
Oh my God. This thing
it's some of the nicest artwork.
This might be my favorite release of 2022 so far. I love this thing.
I used to have it. Where is it? It's over. It's across. I used to have it right next to me because I was kind of almost using it as a display item. I mean, I just love it.
Their boxes are unique too because it kind of leaves this triangle to where you can throw that in. It's super, super high quality stuff. And it's insane that they threw in 3 different releases of the same movie into this box set. And then it also comes with the soundtrack as well.
Yeah,
just that's very cool stuff.
Imprint Films over in Australia, but this is their Wicker Man box set. I think it has a theatrical cut, it has an unrated cut, and a director's cut.
Director's cut, yep. Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack CD. It's 3 different discs, all in this beautiful box art. I mean, it's a premium set.
But the runtime only changes by like 2 to 3 minutes. Like, there's not a lot of changes in between those releases, but yeah. That's another thing. When it comes with like 3 different versions of the movie, I don't know what movie to watch. I don't know what version to pop in.
See, normally, if I've never seen it, I always start theatrical if I've never seen it.
Do you? Okay.
Because I'm like, I just want to see like what did people see first before it was well, not everyone's George Lucas, but before it got played with, what did people see? But then I'll watch a director's. There's a lot of good director's cuts. Don't get me wrong. If I've seen the movie before, I'll usually go to the director's cut next.
Gotcha. Okay, I know you got to go. Let's do 2 more. You okay with that?
2 more. Let's do it.
Okay, Titans of Colt, one of the best premium Steelbook people.
I've never bought anything from them.
I love them, and especially if it's 4K, you can buy them when it doesn't matter what version you get.
It's all region free.
This Clockwork Orange set,
That's
I absolutely love. And Titans of Colt is known for throwing in really cool, unique extras in there. It came with 2 enamel pins.
Oh, nice.
Which is very nice. Like, you don't get enamel pins from anybody else, and I am also a big pin collector, so it's just a nice added touch.
Double whammy.
And then they come with unique artwork that they make for themselves. Yes. Very good, very simplistic, and the artwork on the inside is just like the wording from the milk bar. It's
Where are they out of? Are they UK?
I think they're UK. Yeah.
I mean, what's a set like that run compared to like your standard, say $30 for a new Steelbook?
Well, it depends on the movie. When they normally come out, it's around $40, $40 to $50,
which not bad,
isn't terrible.
Yeah, considering everything they give you.
They have releases like Space Jam, which have went down to like $25, and then they have ones like 2001, which is probably over $100 now. I think last I checked it was. Yeah. And then those last one I'll show off here, like one of the first Lionsgate.
I love
slip
this one.
covers, the Knives Out one.
Yep.
It's very good because it looks like the novel of what was the guy's name? Harlan Thornby, the guy who wrote the book who got killed off, and they're trying to figure out who actually killed him. Do you want me to show a spoiler? Like, this is the only Steelbook.
It is. I showed this on TikTok once. I was like, this is the only packaging I've ever had that has like a spoiler hidden in the package.
This is the first TikTok that I had that actually went viral. It had like over 500,000 views to it.
Because it was all those knives point to.
Yes. I will slip it down and I will show you. So spoilers, but if you...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. But all the knives point to the actual killer. Right. Which is very, very freaking cool. When I found that out, I lost my mind a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's super, super unique in the fact that they even like thought, then you have to reverse the slipcover and put it on the front to do that. And it's a cool little like Easter egg. So I love that.
Well, those are just a few of them. I literally have about 20 more I wanted to show off. So I might make a YouTube video just on cool packaging.
Well, we can do that, or we can have you back, or if you want to
do that part 2, I'm always down for that.
We can do a part 2. I would love having people back, and this has been super cool. And you've got like the cool stuff that I wish I had. I'm just like a boring collector a lot of times, and I buy the movie. I wish I had some better stuff, especially for some of my favorites.
No, so I'm that guy in Office Space that just had all the flair around him. I love having a really cool looking collection.
I love it. No, I love it. It does. Your stuff is crazy. So if you guys want to check them out, where it's Steelbook Obsessed on TikTok, same on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Steelbook Obsessed.
I know that soon I will have a full collection video. And that's going to be like a 6-7 hour long event. So.
People have been asking me to do that, and I just haven't been able to find 8 hours.
Right.
But I'll do it someday. But yeah, Steelbook Obsessed. I'll put the links in the description, YouTube, TikTok. Definitely go check out Jake and his content. It's cool stuff. It's different and unique even from what other people are doing on TikTok with his kind of unique collection and all the different packaging. So definitely go check them out.
Yeah, well, this was fun, Jeff. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it again. And if you want to, collab on, we can do a YouTube video or something too. We can play around with some ideas. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Stay in touch. We'll do something fun.
Sounds good to me.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate you coming on for this, and have a good rest of your day.
Coming soon. Be sure to subscribe to the Films at Home podcast using your favorite app so you don't miss another episode. And while you're there, don't forget to rate and review this podcast, which helps us out tremendously. You can also help support us by watching our short form content over on YouTube and TikTok by searching Films at Home. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at films_at_home. The intro and outro were created by Elin Osborne. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.